Microsoft has accidentally pushed out a new build of Windows 10 to everyone, and it's got a couple new features. What's up everybody, Brad here, and Microsoft this morning did something they haven't done in a very long time. I think they did this once before, but what they did was they accidentally pushed a build of Windows 10 to everybody, and they weren't supposed to. This was a canary build release, and it somehow got into the mechanisms and pushed out to everybody on the fast and slow rings. And it is build 18947. This is not a build that was supposed to be released, and it has a couple features that show what is coming down the pipeline for Microsoft. And the biggest being, hey, look, Microsoft is experimenting with a brand new start menu. And boy, oh boy, does it look different. Now, obviously, there's a couple big things here to point out. There's no live tiles, right? Microsoft has been moving away from live tiles ever since the demise of Windows Phone. Live tiles didn't really have a big purpose. At one point, Microsoft considered allowing you to pin live tiles to the desktop, but they stopped doing that for reasons I don't understand, because widgets back in Vista were always pretty popular, or what do they call them, gadgets. But you could never do that with live tiles. And it's very clear here in this design setup that Microsoft is kind of looking at moving away from them. Now, I do want to put a big caveat on all of this because Microsoft is using a very similar design to this for Windows Lite. Now, Windows Lite has not shown up too recently, but this design layout is almost identical to what I've seen on actual builds of Windows Lite. And so this could just be that Microsoft is using this as they build out Windows Lite, and this is showing the progression of moving forward. But for now, know that this might just be a Windows Lite thing, and it may not make it to Windows 10, at least not initially. But as you can see here on a build of Windows 10 that accidentally made its way out, it's very much a real thing, and it's a pretty big change. You've got the start, or you've got big search up top. You also have the user profile icon at the top for fast user switching, and a couple other things. One other thing the feature found out, and this comes to us from NT Authority, is that there's also GIF search. GIF search, GIF search, pick your battle about how you want to pronounce that, is coming. But hey, Microsoft's going to make it a lot easier in Windows 10 to find your favorite animated picture to post out on the internet. But as you can see here, this is it's a pretty big change. And for Windows Classic enthusiasts, this might be, I don't know how people are going to take that. I would love to know how you guys are going to take it, but this build was not supposed to be pushed out. Microsoft has actually already started to pause the update, so if you can't grab it, you're not alone. But just know that Microsoft did not intend to do this. I woke up this morning with a bunch of tips saying, hey, why can I download 18947? And then, hey, here we are with it being downloaded and a new start menu showing up. So, pretty big deal that Microsoft pushed this out, obviously because they weren't able to test it for compatibility. They weren't able to test it for stability. So if you are able to install it or able to find the bits, do so cautiously because Microsoft does not have the telemetry if this is going to corrupt your machine. Although I did throw it on the machine back there because sometimes you got to live a little dangerously if you want to play on the fun side of Windows 10 builds. But there you go, guys. That is a first look at Microsoft's potential changes to their upcoming start menu. They're clearly doing this. They're clearly moving forward with it. The question is when and where will it ship?